This video contains spoilers for various manga and anime. However, during the review, I will minimize these as much as possible. If you are not familiar with the manga and anime in question, I still encourage you to watch the entire video, as this video was made with the unfamiliar in mind. Thank you.
On my last trip to Japan, their creative team showed me a sneak peek at their next game. Now, you get to see the first look.
There are worlds that exist, separate from our own, where the impossible is reality. They consist of both good and evil. These worlds were never meant to meet. But things have changed. Now, they have begun to merge as one. And our last hope are the heroes we could only imagine, uniting to fight for us.
One question. What went wrong? This game has a story. A story you won't just find in any other crossover game's history. A story of letdowns, disappointment, false hype, and community deceit. A story of a game that's so garbage, it can make anyone's list of the worst crossover games ever made. This is the story of how Jump Force is the apex of missed potential. Modern anime has an advantage older generations simply don't have. That advantage is that it's modern, no shit. It has immediate access to tech, dumb plot points, and just simply what works, what doesn't, and what inspires time and time again. Now I know that the anime and manga world ain't for everyone, but I can guarantee that if one looks, that one would find the anime world has something for everyone. All it takes is a brave man or woman to put their mind and pencil to work on a story that captivates a generation. A story you never want to escape, never want to stop, and always want to be a part of. Amazing scenes and iconic battles. A story that can be experienced in a game. Video games is such a great asset to the manga and anime world. It allows you to explore and be the characters you want to be in the various ways that they allow you to be it. some ways it's pretty damn cool, and in others it's complete garbage. So why? What makes it so trash? Well, I'm sure we'll have tons of time to review just about every game I'm showing you here and more on this show. And yes, I may think it's trash, you may not. It's subjective, of course. But this leads me to a problem with anime games. Not all manga and anime series gets the video game expansion. Some of your favorite series are told that they are not good enough to have a game or a sequel, or to have more than 10 games that only exist for your series, because your series is now irrelevant and it's too late for them, and it's not iconic enough to have the pull some other series have. Rip Bobobo. Damn, I love Bobobo. So what's next for your beloved superstars? If they are not relevant to have their own game, is there any hope left for them to be part of a game ever again? Does it take a resurgence, a remake? What could they possibly be a part of to bring them back? Ladies and gentlemen, the art of the crossover. Special collaborations and promotions have had its impact in TV, movies, comics, and of course, video games. You get something exceedingly special when a manga and anime characters cross paths. Amp that crossover up to be playable, and you get a fantastic experience. And for someone jumping their crossovers, the early 2000s was an amazing time for them. 1997 is when we get introduced to One Piece. Then 1989, Naruto was born. Add that to the rise in Dragon Ball Z in the West and a continuing popularity in Japan, and you get a mystic force of power that you've never seen. Shueisha crafted the perfect three mascots for their business. You know them now for being called the Big Three, for better and for worse. The term was originally crafted by the community to describe the upcoming Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. But whenever DBZ appeared in the conversation, Bleach simply kicked rocks. It's the shit you live with when you're a Bleach fan. But I'm also a Dragon Ball Z fan, so hey, what's that? You know what I mean? Anyway, these three, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, and sometimes Bleach, were the cream of the crop. And what Shonen Jump did here is establish these characters as near unbeatable because of their popularity and status, and created an environment where every other manga character pretty much had to kind of fight them. I mean, it was already there, but it was kind of even worse. So when it came to video game and crossovers, the only other chance that your favorite series had was met with some challenges. First of all, you had to find a spot in the game and be relevant enough to be in a crossover or a classic enough, but you also had to fight a spot against a Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball Z character. And it's been many years after this game, Jump Ultimate Stars, until we got another crossover game, and that is J-Stars, where we had to battle this very same problem once again. But now we're in a very different era of Shonen Jump manga and anime. The big three are still the big three, including Bleach, but many of the anime series that have appeared in that game have long ended. And now we play the game of adding the new series to the game, of which there are plenty. But even those anime and manga are coming to an end as well. You see, this is the point in time in our story where we introduce Jump Force. Now, everything up to this point is very crucial to the story of Jump Force and J-Stars. But why J-Stars and Jump Force? And why you may possibly see those two games constantly compared to each other? Well, it's very simple. Not only is J-Stars the first crossover in years, the first one to be localized to the West, but is also made by Spike Chunsoft, the same developers that made Jump Force. You may know them for their part in bringing you Raging Blast, Tenkaichi, Danganronpa series, but there's one thing I want you to take exclusive note of here. Their involvement in producing a arcade exclusive in Japan game called Dragon Ball Zenkai Battle Royale. This is the very base used for J-Stars, and by extension, Jump Force. We're going to be mentioning this game quite a few times in the video, but for now, let's talk about J-Stars. Now look and listen. If you understand everything there is to know about J-Stars and the whole situation, you're knowledgeable about it, you can skip to this point in the video to continue on with the Jump Force stuff. But if you haven't and you don't have any clue, this is going to be a quick breakdown about what J-Stars is all about. This is something you 100% need to understand the big fuck-ups of Jump Force. Now looking through the entire game in this feel, Spike Chunsoft does an amazing job presenting you with the manga aesthetic and feel. It's all around you when you select your characters, when you select your mode. It's everywhere. That light feel, the Shonen Jump crossover is there. You know they're the right persons for the job because they did it here. There's arcade mode, which got added in the Plus version, which is the localization version, which is pretty much fucking useless. I'm gonna be real with you. There's free battle where you can fight against your friend, online battle where you battle against bullshit Sasuke, Yusuke, and Vegeta spammers, and of course we got the deck J customization, which is basically you can collect cards and crossover cards, which is a really good fan service way of having a fan service collectible in the game. It's really a brilliant idea. Of course, it was fun for the game at the time. Here we have a J-Point shop with no microtransactions where you could buy battle characters and just cards and just improve your ship and the story mode. Wow. Just seeing this, you know, this is in 2014. This game was released in Japan March 19, 2014, and a year later in West and Americas and all that localized. It's actually an amazing sight to see. I first played this game on the Vita in the Japanese version. It was an amazing experience, man. And let me tell you. And the fact that we got to unlock characters at this point in time, even for this game, it was great. And now, speaking of characters, let's briefly go through them. A lot of these I don't expect you all to understand, but some of them you may understand because they were rising in popularity. You could even say a resurgence with the JoJo characters, Johnson Joestar and Young Joseph Joestar. Dragon Ball Z, of course, ending anime at the time in the manga. Toriko characters, got Hunter x Hunter, which is always on hiatus. Kenshiro, Raul, Bobobo, that's a big plus. Madaka, Yusuke, Hiei, and one of my favorite Yu Hakusho characters, younger Toguro, Kenshin. Of course, I love Kenshin. Shishiro, first time in a crossover. And One Piece characters, 4 of them. Yeah, they got special treatment. And that's about it. Okay, let's talk about the support characters. One of the biggest negative connotations this game instantly received is that 13 of the 52 characters they advertised were not playable. And what makes this worse is that, you know, it'll be understandable some of the characters just cannot be playable because they're not battle. But at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them could have easily been playable. And what makes this even more worse is that this led people to compare this game to Jump Ultimate Stars. You see Kagura from Gintama, easily playable. Samurai School's Ejima Heihachi, easily playable. The most disappointing one for me here, personally, is Rukia, a very important character in Bleach, being subjected to support. But the biggest upset has to go to Alan Walker's support character role. It's probably the most bullshit thing this game has done in terms of making a character support character. He, like many others here, were playable. In a game almost 10 years older. Game characters, I mean, this really brought attention to who was missing in the game. Jotaro, Dio, Alan Walker, of course, Leona Lee, she was part of a D Greyman character. Dragon Ball characters were missing. Let people to saying, "Where's Piccolo? Where's Zoro? Where's Gohan for Zoro for One Piece and all that?" it's crazy. But where's even Train from Black Cat? Where's Benji and Hisugaya from Bleach? But perhaps the most disappointing character that got left out for me is one of my favorite manga characters of all time. Yukimoto from Yu-Gi-Oh! A big what the fuck. And Kinnikuman, or Shidoro Kinniku from Kinnikuman. The biggest what the fucks. And their reason for their absence was answered in an interview with a producer of the game, saying that it's because of their gameplay. They were excluded. And in fact, let's see if this bullshit lie was true, shall we? And look at the gameplay. Now, I won't be going over this crazy strategics here, as this part is long enough as it is before we even get to Jump Force. But, as you can see, the top, we got wind gauge, the map, the health and stamina, and your teammates. And if you need help kind of imagining the control scheme a little bit more, I have for you coming up a control scheme for you to imagine. If you have a PlayStation controller, and if you have imaginative enough, have an Xbox controller nearby, you could probably map out the buttons for you to see for yourself. Borrowed this from the internet, of course. You get the lock on, a jump. It's a 2v2 game. So, as you'll see in the gameplay, once you get this situated, maybe you have to pause if you don't understand it. There's 3 specials and an ultimate, and you activate the ultimate when you get Victory Burst. In order to get Victory Burst, you and your teammate has to beat up the teammate enough times to reach an electrifying signal up top in your wind gauge. And once you do that, you get access to the ultimate move, which is usually an instant kill, or does extremely high damage. And that gives you our team a point. Your team has to hit 3 KOs to win. Now, this surprisingly led to a lot of strategy in the game, and thinking back on it now, I used to hate it because once you got knocked down, you get up with invisibility frames, and it was quite fucking annoying to deal with at the time. Yes, it was very annoying actually. But looking back on it now, it was definitely a complete package of a game. It was definitely fun, and especially if you play online with other people and got spammed to death by Yusuke's Spirit Ball. Good times. It's always good being on the other side of that, you know. Doing this Yusuke's Spirit Ball gameplay was really fun. But either way, like you're seeing, all the things you see here, this is pretty much everything about J-Stars you need to understand. J-Stars was in fact a fantastic anniversary game, but more important than that, it was a fantastic crossover game. It had many Easter eggs and many just fantastic fan service moments to experience, not only in the story mode, but throughout the whole game in general. Take a look at this Raoul Easter egg right here. One of my favorites in the game. Not only this could be used in strategy to help your team gain a point, so when you really knock out Raoul, you don't really do it unless he kills himself first and sends him to the heavens. What a great callback to the manga Fist of the North Star. This game is #1, and it's going to be hard for Spike Chunsoft to top it, right? Well, no, actually. There's many improvements to be made, and I'm sure Spike Chunsoft will deliver. They won't. They won't deliver at all. Our story continues with one word: hype, followed by train.
Right now, we are joined by Koji Nakajima from Bandai Namco, along with his translator, Mikey Mac.
Koji Nakajima. Mr. Koji Nakajima is the producer of Jump Force and director of Jump Force, the man responsible for the roster and the idea of Jump Force. You may expect me to talk immediate shit about his decision making, but that's not true, technically. I'm here to tell you about Koji and how he never, ever lied. What do I mean by this? You see, in all of his interviews, this man has never lied about a thing about Jump Force. Never deceived anyone into believing this game was better than it is. He cleverly, with a smile on his face, told you that this game was what it was, but the problem was that no one was listening. So I guess we can go and start with day one of Hype Train, and we can begin to go on this ride. You see, since day one, we got 6 brand new characters announced. 3 of which we saw in the trailer, well, 4 of them, and 2 more that were unceremoniously announced. Zoro and Sasuke. Both were immediately expected to be dragged out in announcements, but no, we got them on day one. Sasuke being a rival to Naruto, of course, he needed to be announced with him at some capacity, and Zoro being one of the most important and strongest Straw Hats in the show, and a best friend to Luffy, of course, because everyone in the Straw Hats is best friend to him. No shit. Anyway, having 6 characters on day one along with the gameplay reveal was a strong showing for everyone and the Jump Force crew. In fact, we even have an interview here telling you exactly what Nakajima had to say about everyone's reaction and what they recognized in the art style and however unique it is, and how it isn't just a merging of Jump universes, but also with our world, the real world. At some point in this IGN Day 1 interview, he said, when asked about the roster, that it'll be quite a stretch to have Prince of Tennis join the roster, and the game's focus is on heroes. And this leads me to asking why the hell is like Ryuk in the game, because they will be quite the stretch. And this is where we got the confirmation that Ryuk from Death Note isn't playable, because he'd be too strong. And he laughs. Oh my goodness, read the rest of this. The background of the story that is the real world and the Jumps world merged together for unknown reasons, and the heroes need to stop this from happening. The Death Note characters have to do with this background, which also means they'll be in a story. So they're story-only characters. Not only on day one, we get confirmation that one of the most hyped characters that appeared in the trailer were seemingly confirmed for being playable. But also, if you were lucky enough, well, smart enough to pay attention to the interview, you would get the hint from the director himself that certain genres of characters won't be playable, including Ryuma from the Prince of Tennis. What? Now, many people were still cautious at this time, but the game was just announced. But 2 weeks later after this interview, in another interview, he completely deconfirmed sports characters, because it would be a bit difficult. Okay. And how he guarantees the characters that will surprise everyone. There will be characters. And the game 60% complete. And with that being said, people were fairly impressed with the game. It did bring a lot of hype. It was one of the most talked about titles because it came out of left field. The hype train was starting to move. It's been a very slow start though, because a lot of people were cautious, and especially those who were really paying attention to the red flags. I mean, manga characters that come together should be together from any genre. But when you start to exclude things on day one, it starts to be kind of an issue, especially for the potential reasons that they may be excluded. To say that sports manga characters don't fit in this world doesn't quite make any sense, especially when you already have characters that don't belong in the real world being in it. Now, Ryuk and Light not being playable is extremely understandable, especially to those who understood the source material. But this doesn't stop this game from being a game where you get to experience the anomaly that is the crossover. Things needed to start looking good, but things did get good rather soon. Ichigo, Rukia, and Aizen were announced playable in early July. But then, around July 30th, they got the gameplay trailer that we all been asking for. At the time, this was an amazing trailer and what the fans very much needed. A cool Hong Kong stage with Sunny in the background, Sunny the ship, and all the beach class, yeah, that works, had their final arc appearances, which have now, of course, if you're watching this video, as of now, know that they're going to be getting an anime covering the final arc of their story. Interesting enough, you get the first taste of this outside the manga in this game, which was very, very, very good press. But even more so than that, yes, Rukia was playable, because she was one of the previous support-only characters that pissed me off, and everyone else off, and she really shouldn't have been. But what this also confirmed, as she was playable, it also confirmed that there will be no support characters period in the game. What an amazing announcement. So nobody, or absolutely everyone, every series everybody ever wanted, possibly had a chance in the game, and they won't be in a support role. They'll be 100% playable. What an amazing announcement. But this wouldn't be the end of this train of announcements, because the very next month, we got brand new characters. But I consider this to be the turning point, where the Jump Force community started to finally form. And also, where tensions between Bandai Namco and the community started to really begin. New anime-type characters at Gamescom 2019, 18, were announced, including Blackbeard from One Piece, Hisoka being a fully fledged playable character, adding to the no support character bullshit, and with Hisoka comes Gon from Hunter x Hunter as well, and Sabo. Wait a minute. Sabo? Is Ace gonna be in the game now? And Sanji, and of course Vegeta, because everybody saw Vegeta coming. This was a very good reveal to like 2 people, because the main issue immediately arose. You see, on the optimism side of things, it was good that One Piece finally got all its characters out from the beginning. And on the pessimistic side of things, well, it was just a sign of things to come. See, Blackbeard, Luffy, of course, not Luffy, but Sanji and Sabo were 3 One Piece characters. In the beginning of the game's hype cycle, adding into the 2 already there, created 5 One Piece characters in the roster, immediately surpassing the amount of character representation they had in J-Stars, which was 4. And 2 of those characters, or 3 of them, have not to show up yet. So it brings into question, how many characters is One Piece gonna get? Even worse, you start to question, how many is Dragon Ball Z gonna get? How many is Naruto going to get? It brought a lot of worry and tension into the atmosphere, and people were beginning to see that this game may not be what they thought it was going to be. And everyone was expecting the next month's announcements to be Sakura, Kakashi, and maybe even Madara Uchiha from Naruto to even out with the One Piece playing field of characters, and maybe even Dragon Ball Z characters too. 100% expected. And people were starting to not like the game and kind of speak negatively about it, despite the fact it had a hub world and a KAC system that no one gave a shit about. It was truly Bandai's next move that mattered. Their move. Yukimoto, Yusuke, Toguro, Killua, and Kurapika were announced in Tokyo Game Show, or around the time. Yuki was announced first on the post unceremoniously, weirdly enough, but got his gameplay trailer almost a whole week after the Tokyo Game Show announcement. It was one of the best moments of hype in an entire hype cycle train of Jump Force, especially for me. This woke everybody up, and any previous doubt the previous announcements had on the game immediately went on the bottom shelf. Seriously, though Yusuke into Girls announcement was pretty hype, Killua was okay too, but the main star of this show was most definitely Yukimoto. Him and Kurapika were definitely surprise announcements. And it was just, I guess I gotta give them a name now, right? I called them the Hype 5. These 5 characters brought the hype back into the game and the faith back into the game to tell us that these developers know exactly what they're doing. And it just got better. Speculation has began to rapidly continue under the announcement of Yukimoto and friends, though Hiei didn't show up. I'm pretty sure he'll be announced a little later. At least that was the mindset at the time. Oh boy. Either way, the Hype 5 was definitely to thank for the continuing hype for Jump Force. However, there was something that was sidetracked by this announcement, was Akari Toyama's original characters. Yeah, no one gave a shit, and we're just gonna leave it at that. However, a week or so later, we got the announcement of Saint Seiya characters. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, characters. In the first time, Saint Seiya was not alone in his crossover representation. He got one of his best friends and Saints, Dragon Shiryu, to join him for this wonderful ride that is Jump Force. Amazingly, after this video, I started my channel, and I began my channel with Jump Force content with these 2 very videos right here, speculating on who to be next, but nobody was prepared for who was going to be announced next. And I mean, nobody guessed this, not even a list as close as mine. Ryo, Saiba, and Kenshiro were announced at Paris Game Week in 2018. It was one of the light moments in the Jump Force hype saga that brought everyone to a what and a wow moment. His character inclusion sparked a light and sparked a fire of speculation that we have never seen up to this point. He was the shining beacon of hope that your character can make it in, and the fact that he was even in was a surprising one at that. An amazing announcement. But he was the director's favorite character, and let's just say we were all very hyped for the next announcement. There is no way it could possibly be worse from here on out. Ryu Saiba got in, right? In November of 2018, Kenshin, Shishio, Piccolo, and Cell were all announced for Jump Force. To say that this was a negative time period for Jump Force, I guess you could say it was an understatement, due to the controversial natures of Kenshin and Shishio being added with more Dragon Ball Z characters. And Cell of all Dragon Ball Z characters to be added? Just added more flame to the fire that was suddenly starting to die down. It started to cause community denial, and the community members and Jump Force content creators started to cause a thing called community deceit. But just remember, Koji never lied about anything. In fact, his interviews at this time showed nothing new. There was nothing new to be said, and each interview that we watched of him was met with a very huge disappointing what? Jump Festa is an event that happens each and every year, where Shonen Jump gets to announce their most best, greatest announcements. It was the last and only hope everyone ever had that 6 of the series here could ever be announced, and 1 out of pure necessity. It was the last hope, and boy, the Jump Festa arc, well, saga, had an interesting turn of events. Trunks, Boa Hancock, Renji, Asta, Deku. These characters were the only characters announced for Jump Force in the month of December. And now, things have gotten at an all-time high between the Jump Force community and Bandai Namco. We saw the story trailer. It looked pretty decent. What little did we know is how well the trailer was put together. And even though people were still optimistic about the future of announcements, we still got 1 month left, majority of people were still skeptical. Even after some community leaders in the anime world falsified that there was going to be a certain amount of characters to be in this game, people still had hope. It was amazing to see these clout-chasing sons of bitches take advantage of the Jump Force's community hunger for more characters. An amazing, amazing time it was not. People were beginning to see this game for what it really was. And possibly. All there is left now is to announce the inevitable Naruto character inclusion. Gaara, Kakashi, Boruto, and Kaguya. Wait a minute, no Sakura. This, I believe, was the final nail in the coffin for many people. That a very key character like Sakura was not in the roster, but Kaguya was. There's a difference between meme hate that Sakura gets and real hate from fans that Kaguya gets. You see, that was a fuck you to the fans. Adding a character no one gave a shit about. Die from Dragon Quest was an amazing announcement, but overshadowed by the negativity. And of course, we eventually got JoJo, characters that everyone was claiming for, but it was already too late. The game was in the fucking trash can. But not for many people who are still willing to play the game and try it out. This is the end of the hype for As of right now, it's time for us to review the game. I've been mostly calm up to this point, but prepare yourself. My anger for the state of this game and for what it has truly become has yet to be shown.
and giving in to despair.
Despair is a luxury we don't have.
I still dream that Sonic is with us. Do you think he might be...
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. Sonic is gone, Amy, and Tails has just lost it. If we're going to win, we have to do it without them.
Silver's right. We've been hoping for a miracle these past 6 months, but I'm afraid we have to make our own miracle.
Eggman's army has everyone terrified. If we want the people to rally, we have to show them that strength doesn't just come from numbers.
Not everyone is terrified. Isn't a new recruit joining us today?
Yes, a survivor from the city, right?
I'm accessing the file now.
Crab stayed secluded in a deep depression that seemed endless.
I think I've been learning something these past few days, weeks, months about shitty video games and what not to do with games in general. Like, for instance, not to put the word force in your title. You might just assassinate characters in your game. Or even better yet, don't put the name Infinite. You might kill an entire franchise or two. Or alienate your core fan base. And 3, don't put a half-ass KAC system in a game that doesn't need it because it's bad enough as it is. Oh boy. When you, for some reason, turn on the game Jump Force, you get treated to a character select system, and you get to choose between a male or a female. And I must say, these options are pretty bare bones. You get all these hairstyles that reference many different characters that are playable and non-playable from the series in the game. And wait a minute, hold up. Is that Lana Lee's hairstyle from D. Grayman? A series that's not playable in this game? Fuck you. The nose options are plentiful. You get a slightly big nose, a slightly small big nose, a slightly pointy big small nose, and the mouth options are plentiful as well. As you can see, we got a variety of the same mouth in different circumferences around the face. What the fuck is these options? Are they even options? Of course, you can't have a create your character system without the voices. Now I must say, some pretty famous voice actors voice in here, like the Japanese voice actor Funami. And guess what? She isn't in this game, so why did they hire her? Oh, look. At least you can color your eyes, right? Color your beautiful eyes in this game. I mean, that's cool. Look, there's even more face options again. Seriously, what is this? What is this? Goodness, there's these feature options that allows you to get face paint from various anime characters in the series they come from in this game. Thank goodness they give you the option to at least try to look a little different from other people. Anywho, time to continue on with this fantastic story. After meeting with Knuckles, Amy, and Silver, you then get sent on your very first mission as part of Team Sonic in this ragtag group. But then, out of nowhere, one of Sonic's famous enemy attacks, Zorvac, in the middle of New York. You find yourself falling to the ground, and you meet Trunks, in which he revives you with some kind of cube. Yep, 100% happened. Believe me. Anyway, this story is weak as shit. You could tell that this Jump Force story has no plot structure whatsoever. And believe me, you're gonna see this shit get worse as we go forward with your created character. We first get introduced to Luffy and Naruto as they were already talking to each other. And this is where we get introduced to lazy character interactions. Literally, they stick to one big trait. This is how they do in these type of games, man. One big trait the character has and try to put the most common tricks together to try to fake a conversation. Word fake. I wonder if we'll be using that again sometime. Anyway, we get to meet this not suspicious director in any way, shape, or form about how this Jump Force team works. We don't even get a reason why it's called Jump Force. We don't even get a story behind the base and how it's built, or how a backstory of how Goku, Luffy, Naruto, and Trunks met up with each other to make this thing, or how they became a lead. We just completely skip these very interesting character interactions and just go straight to like, oh, they always do with each other, they were friends all this time. It's so fucking lazy, man. They talk about how the cube embedded in your body gave you the Empress Cube, and you wonder why or how this director guy knows all this shit too. Maybe it's an important plot point. Oh wait, no it isn't. They don't give you a reason to suspect this motherfucker. Why am I saying this? Well, you should already know this by now, but if you don't, you'll see why. Anyway, to tell you from a tactical standpoint, it's divided into 3 teams. My ass. There's the Alpha team, Goku, which is the team everybody picks to actually get anything in this damn game. There's the Beta team, Luffy. Why would you go on a Beta team? Why would you be on Team Beta? Why would you name yourself, I'm on Team Beta? And there's the Gamma team. I must admit, the Gamma team sounds pretty cool. He actually tries to give reason to this. Some type of attempt to say, there's no need to overthink it. You know, there's the tactical division, there's the reclaim division, and there's the attacking division. It doesn't make fucking sense. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm telling you right now, just pick Alpha, because that's the one that wins, like I said, but it doesn't matter what you pick. Anyway, what's the story structure here? What do you do first? Well, okay, you gotta go ahead and recruit some people. So we found Vegeta on planet Namek, and we tried to get this cube essence off of him. Some different cube. Apparently it's different from the one that embedded you. Or we would assume so at this point. And of course, our next mission, talk to Ichigo and Yusuke. Okay, we'll help them. We'll do something with that. Our next mission, talk to fucking Piccolo. Then go to the director to get your mission. You see where this is going? You see where this is going? It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, we get Dio. Dio! Holy shit, it's fucking Dio. Meeting Yukimoto? Holy crap, it's the first villain we see all game. Or one of them. I don't remember where this is. Yeah, but Dio, man. He's meeting with Yukimoto. So many interesting plot points that could happen from this. Hey, whoa, where'd he go? Oh, first of all, I got a few questions. I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh guy. Would that really work on Yugi? Especially Yami Yugi. He has the power of the Millennium Puzzle. Wouldn't that overturn that control regardless? You know, you see, this story will drive you fucking crazy. Not only if you know one manga or anime well enough, but you know at least one, like I do. Okay, let's get to the real plot points here, apparently. Apparently, the next real plot point in this story is where Sanji meets this girl named Angela. Alright? He goes White Knight mode. This is another example of the story using a character's main trait or one trait to define them. Like they're using Sanji as a plot point or something to allow this girl into their base with this very ominous looking book that I think he would find, you know, one of his traits is being smart, you know. He would see this, he would be suspicious of the damn book. Let's be real, he would ask what that is. You know, Luffy may not give a shit to a certain extent, but Sanji would. There's no doubt about that. Oh my goodness, it's Light Yagami. You know, the character that was super important to story mode, the driving force behind it? Yeah, he can't even move his fucking lips in the cutscene. Oh yeah, that's every character in this game. They're not even making the effort to make these characters look alive at any capacity. It's embarrassing. Of course, you know, with Angela again, there's apparently a story. This is bullshit, man. I mean, we get moments like this, right? Where we see in the trailer. Because then you get this. Hold up, that's not really Toguro. It's fake Toguro. Literally, where's the real one? Doesn't matter. His character is getting assassinated while him being here. That's not really him. Am I playing Subspace Emissary with all this fucking bullshit? Seriously. Is it? Yeah, we all think that looked cool in the trailer. You know what? I take it back. This isn't Subspace Emissary. That shit actually had class and actually cared about the characters it was displaying. You know what I mean? Look at this. It not only assassinates Cell's character, but Blackbeard into Goro. These guys are top of the notch villains. Powerful as fucking shit. And each with their own motives. And they're just used as fodder for this game. It's embarrassing. I know they're enemy characters. They're antagonists to Luffy. You know, Blackbeard is like a parallel to Luffy. Why the fuck is... I know that's not supposed to be the real version of him. But why... Look at this. Look at this. Sanji looking at a freaking wall. Wait. What? There's chapters to this shit? Hold up. Okay. Sanji gets framed for something, apparently. This is what point in the story where he gets framed for something, and they think it's not him, but he was actually getting controlled by the Angela in her book. But then he loses Angela again, and then the director comes out of nowhere. Oh, it's, it was so seemed that, sorry about how badly they can't be. What the fuck is going on, man? What? And then Light shows up out of nowhere, doing these poses that every character does. You know, he already looks bad enough with the suit. You take Ryuk away, like, what are you gonna do? Oh, it's the real Blackbeard, and he just floated into a portal, going where? And they're at Marineford. You think Aikinu would be up? You know, there'll be a whole bunch of soldiers everywhere. Sabo. Oh, take a look at this. Kaguya. She's a super powerful. Where's she going? We just caught up here. Where's she going? Are you serious? Why the fuck is she even in this game if she's not gonna play a part in anything in the story? Take a look at what Gara says here. Take a look what he says right now. Oh, she's gone. Lucky for us, I guess. Does this sound like anything Gara would say? Halfway through the shit show, we find out that the director, he's clapping about the performance of Kane, and Goku goes, "Oh, whoa, what's going on here, director?" And this big plot twist happens. The director was behind everything. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? They call him, I need a name, Amy Prometheus. Who wrote this shit? A 12-year-old? Is this some type of joke? Yes. Yes, Naruto. It is. And your character, along with every other character, is virtually getting assassinated right now. Look at this. Okay, just take note of this. There's no Asta or Deku here, right? I'm not crazy. Alright, just your credit character, Piccolo, for some reason. Okay, oh my god. Look, Asta's right there. So when we finally face this Prometheus guy up, now we got a hint at, but turned out to be the director. You know, we finally catch up with this guy along with Asta here for some reason, and then he says he starts telling us that this lore that would have been, important to set up the story with, instead of telling us at the end. This is like the mark of terrible fucking stories. It's the key man. He uses the Onyx books to convey the worlds. You're telling us at the end, where we know we're gonna beat you. We got Asta here. He has an anti-magic sword. He's gonna whoop your fucking ass. Alright? He could take you by himself. I mean, I'm convinced. Look at this. Oh yeah, Goku tried to do a spirit bomb. Of course that was gonna happen. But guess what? He wasn't aiming at Prometheus. He was aiming at your created character so you can absorb the power because you lost the power to him because he had to cube it. This shit's fucking dumb. It's so bad. You can't like this story. If you like this story, you don't know what storytelling is. That means you like shitty stories. After everything is over, they don't know where Frieza, Blackbeard, any others Jump World villains. How does Trunks know as a Jump World villain? He's self-aware. He's a comic book character. We still got a lot of work to do. We gotta find left. This isn't a cliffhanger, by the way. You fucking morons that say this is a cliffhanger. This is not a cliffhanger. This is to continue the missions that are after, the key missions after the story. That's it. This is not a cliffhanger at all. You morons. You don't know how to read a story? Obviously. Ah, goodness. And that's the end of it. You become director, and this is just the beginning of the shit show, man. What a terrible fucking story. You know what this game has? A thing called fake death. So what does fake death mean? In my definition, well, it means that this game looks deep, but it isn't deep. It's shallow. It looks like it could be overwhelming, but it simply isn't. Because nothing amounts to shit in this game for you. Allow me to explain that by starting with the shop counters located around the lobbies in the game. They got items, ability skills, and abilities and outfits. And if you get confused about what an ability skills is and abilities, trust me, you're not the first one. First of all, you go to items, you get a health boost, attack boost, physical boost, pretty much temporary boosts, and that's all they are for your next mission. Then you get the ability skills, which increases your attack, your elemental attack, your physical resistance, your elemental resistance, and other defense features. Sounds complicated, but trust me, it's not. Of course, then you get abilities, where you can customize your created character with any move in the game from any character you choose in the game. If you buy DLC, you'll automatically get their moves. Now, the first part, what I said about any character, was a lie, because you can't get you can't get Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can't get Dark Magician, you can't get your own The World or Star Platinum. Simply put, some characters have moves that are so complicated to put in KAC, the developers are so lazy that they're not going to give you those moves. And that's basically the reason why you don't have those moves. It doesn't matter what they tell you otherwise. It's just how it is. Now, some moves were given to us in an update for this game, like a Tosu from Rurouni Kenshin, Kiwami, I think that's the name, I can't think of it right now, from Sanosuke from Rurouni Kenshin, the Destructo Disc from basically from characters that are not in the game. And that's cool and all, and I think that's a good thing to add, but I'm kind of against the whole KAC thing in the first place for many reasons, but I'll get to that a little later. Anyway, we got the outfits. What do the outfits consist of? Thank goodness there's different variety of outfits within each lobby, especially within the Gamma, Alpha, and Beta lobbies, where depending on the team member that you like, from the series that you like, they'll be on either one of these teams. For instance, Saint Seiya characters are on Team Gamma, along with Naruto characters, besides Boruto, which is on Team Beta. So if you want a Boruto thing, you're going to have to go to Team Beta's lobby to go pick that up. If you want to go into get some Asta, Ichigo stuff, or some Bleach character stuff, most of the Bleach characters are located in the Alpha lobby. This is the type of thing that I don't necessarily disagree with. I think that in the game, for what they did here, is necessary, because if they would have made the lobby the same for all, you know, the options the same for all lobbies, it would have been stupid. I don't put it past them that they probably were close to doing that too, but oh my goodness, the one thing I fucking hate is, you see, they try to more of this fake death example. When they sell you feet and hands parts, they sell you parts with different colors. So when you go to change your costume in the pause menu for your created character, if you want a different color, you can't change the color of it. Fake death, man. This is that example of that shit. You want a different color pants, you want a different color fascia, you don't want purple, regular fascia purple for your Saiyan woman, get a red one, you want to change the red, you gotta go buy it. Same price. It's bullshit. It's bullshit and it's fake death. That's one example. Now, the upgrade counters. What could they possibly upgrade? Your move space? Your costumes that you can have in your character? The character space? No, just J skills and ability upgrades. Remember, those ability upgrades are basically just upgrading your resistance to elements that other characters have, like fire and electricity. But I'm gonna tell you a little secret. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, those J skills, what are those? Basically, J skills are quotes. They're quotes, first and foremost, to get the characters to say iconic lines. And you can equip them to your created character to boost your health. This gives you a special attribute at specific times. It can either boost your health, or when it's 50% down, and it gives you an elemental resistance at this point. Like I said, fake death. Yep, fake death. And you know what's interesting? You might find yourself a little bit bored. The UI design of this entire game is fucking atrocious. It's just this modern blue. You know, this is supposed to be about manga characters. It's supposed to be exciting, right? Where's the manga? Where's the anime flair? It's just this darkish bluish green everywhere, and it's just this dull colors around you. So even if you do pass by the upgrade counter, you probably get too bored not to even look at it. Anyway, at least you don't have to walk everywhere. The game kindly assists you with a bike, a boat that's inspired off the one of these sunny ships, one of the little Marys that you get alongside that Frankie built. Spoiler alert, oops. I try to avoid those as much as possible. Anyway, or you can get the frog from Naruto. I'm doing that on purpose. I know he has a name. I'm doing that on purpose to piss you off. Anyway, mission counter. There's free missions, extra missions, key missions, and tutorial missions. Tutorial should be obvious. The free missions range from easy to expert. And you would not believe how difficult this game gets. They recommend you a level. They tell you the difficulty. They tell you the mission objectives. And they're fairly fucking easy. But the most insanely stupid part is the difficulty. You see, this game is not fucking hard. Not even the slightest. But you know how they raise it? You know what a bad game does, right? They raise the damage of the character. You knew your trivia. You knew your trivia of a
So
bad
if you were to
fucking
go
game.
to expert mode and face a character,
Literally use the same tactics you use for easy.
this is a gameplay problem, by the way, which we're going to be getting into in a moment. But right now I'm just showing off the menu, and basically you get the option to customize your J skills to your character in the menu, which of course this kind of show you a little bit more if you're unfamiliar with it. Is this technical category. There's the health, the defender. I've already said it gives you conditions and it gives you the effect. When your health is higher, it gives you a certain time of resistance and stuff. It seems overly complicated, but it isn't. It's mostly it. If you're trust me, when you're in the battle, you're not gonna think about this shit. It's the least thing that's on your mind is what the fuck a J skill does. Even though there are good J skills that people, characters, and let's just say the created characters and players could use to do the cheap bullshit, I still classify it as fake death due to the combat system, which we'll be getting to, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, there's also a support skill system. What is that? It's basically just leveling up the actual characters in the game enough to use the points they gain when you level them up, the literal number they level up with, to buy them, to basically unlock their full potential. That's basically what it is. Do I think it's pretty useful? I think it could be expanded upon by a brighter person who actually gave a shit about this game, because it's pretty useless. I think that most people don't fucking use this or don't care enough for it. Don't know why it's here. Honestly, it's amazing to see this support skill thing even here with all these characters, created character support things going on. Anyway, what you're seeing here is the emotes. Now, this isn't the first time I'm going to mention emotes, and I mentioned I have a problem with those emotes. But I want to talk about things first before I talk about why I had a problem with those emotes, and that's like the events and the gameplay and stuff, and just keep that in mind that I will be going back to that again. Anyway, before we end off this lobby trip, let's talk about the lobby itself. Where to go? Nowhere. This shit is boring as fuck. Listen, it looks like it could be nice, but it's really short. I think it's shorter than Xenoverse 1. You know what I mean? There's no place to go. The NPCs are boring. You know? They're just regular curated characters. They're boring. They don't offer you anything. They don't offer you backstory to how Jump Force is built. There's nothing interactive about them. They're just there to fill in the space. You know what I mean? And you could say that's for the purpose of you being online. I'm offline right now. This is the game's not empty yet. I'm offline. But that could be the purpose. But even so, I've been in some pretty empty online lobbies before. It can get like this. I've been in quite a few. Not gonna lie, I really have been. Like I said, quite a few people have been in there. Either way, it's boring. There's gonna be a lot of useful parts. Basically, it's the new menu. The lobby system is the new menu in these type of games. And in Jump Force, everything you could do, access, like the main counter to access 2-player battle or training, you could do that in the menu. But basically, to make it look cool, they decided to put it into a lobby. You know what they could have really done? Make these NPCs actual characters. If they would have just put the effort to make these actual characters from the series over the game, like Nami or Usopp, characters that could be playable but aren't playable. They have their costumes in the game. Maybe a Sakura, a salty Sakura placement as an NPC, but she'll be here at the very fucking least. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Crazy how fucking lazy this game is. I don't want to exaggerate it when I say it's crazy. I mean, I say it's crazy as in it's, how the fuck can you play this game? How the fuck can you go in this lobby all the time and keep continuously doing it without getting bored? There's no way a child would get bored playing this shit. You know what I mean? It's the void of personality and color that manga and anime is supposed to do with their lobbies. You know, it's devoid of. It's just a computeristic, corporate outlook on everything. This part right here has to be the absolute worst part in the entire lobby because there's absolutely no reason to go here. None. There's absolutely zero freaking reason to be doing any of this. It's literally put here. I guarantee you, the developers put this here so that the game could feel a little bit bigger. So they could feel a little bit bigger, even though it goes absolutely nowhere. It's an absolute shame. I swear, man. I'm telling you right now. They added this shit in the last 6 months. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I thought I'd mention event battles real quick and the events in general. The events is the only reason players keep coming back to this game. It's the only thing content creators ever talk about because that's the only thing they can talk about besides DLC speculation. Literally just this. And you know why? Because of the rewards. You know what the rewards are? You want to guess? KAC costumes that people really actually want. Yeah, these these practices, man. You know, this is pretty fucked up. And some of those costumes you get for these awards, like tournament battle, raid boss, and arena battle, or like Goku Black, Itachi wig, the Asuki costume, all these costumes. And it's a shame, really, because you could do so much more with this than just KAC rewards. But this is what people come back for, man. I don't come back for this. I literally came back for this review, and that's it. Just judging the UI design for the character select menu, it looks like crap. You know what I mean? When you pop up on a character, they do this little animation, and some of it has a cool reference, like Aizen in the chair. If you read the final arc, you would know about this. But other than that, it looks really bad, man. It looks like they tried to do motion capture on anime characters. It looks terrible. And once again, some characters could blend well in a realistic style, while others are better left probably unsuited. I'll let you decide what characters I'm talking about. You could choose your team registration, which you could set up in the menu, but would you really care? It's funner to pick characters anyway. When it comes down to the fake death area of this place, it shows you the physical resistances and the elemental types. Now, obviously, it's a real thing in the game. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to tell you, not trying to lie to your face and tell you this isn't real. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, it won't matter to you. It doesn't matter. It's eye candy. It's meant to tell you that there's something more there than it really is. That's what fake death is. These physical resistances do attribute towards your character. It does. But in the long run, you won't give a fuck about it. It's just there to make it seem busy. You know, that's why it's there. Literally, they could add all this together and take away the entire second half of the menu, and it wouldn't change a thing. You know, you can see the health of your character, you can see the attack of your character, but you won't care. You know what I mean? What they try to make this like, well, what's the point of telling us the health of a character if the health bars are not even freaking separate? By the way, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about that in a few seconds. But overall, taking a final look at the character select screen, you'll find it to be very boring. And if you get all the DLC characters and the game right now, this is what it's gonna look like. This is what it's gonna look like. All DLC characters and whatnot. It's absolutely boring and messed up. It's fucked up. It's finally time to talk about the gameplay and how it functions. We talked about how the physical resistances and the elemental resistances don't fucking matter in the long run. And you're going to be seeing that wholeheartedly right now. So where do we begin? First of all, let's start off with the basics of the game, and I'll gradually tell you whether or not they truly matter or not. So, each character you pick, each and every one of them has 4 moves you can access on a wheel of some kind in the game. 3 of them which are immediately available to you, but some of them cost either 1 bar or 2 bars to activate. You get a total of 5 bars, as you see in the health, as we enlarge that in a second. And this is the core of how you play this game. And there is a thing called the Awakening Gauge. The little yellow diamond-like thing. Once this activates as you get hit, more so than anything. And halfway, you can actually perform Awakening, or you can pull a full Awakening once it goes all the way around the diamond, and it goes red, as you'll see if you pay attention to it. Now, there is nothing particularly wrong with this setup. It's actually pretty straightforward. Now, that straightforwardness combines together to make a 5-bar system where you can access your moves through that. Like I said, it costs 1 bar to perform 1 move, or you have to charge it up with the back buttons of your controller, or whatever controller that you use, the R2 or the RTs. You got to hold that down to perform a charge up, to access these moves, to charge them up. It's pretty straightforward in that regard. But there's one thing I have to mention that kind of breaks the game. Now, one thing that this ties into is the fact that there's only 1 health bar for you. That's it. You got 3 characters and 1 health bar. And then there's a thing called the stamina bar. So you got 1 health bar and you got a stamina bar. The stamina bar allows you to perform escape moves and allows you to dash up to your opponent and takes away. But this also does quite a few other things as well. That's really important to take note of. The stamina bar is the only bar that the running, dodging attacks takes away from. But it also is the only thing that you have to protect you from escaping. As you can see right there, that's a high-speed dodge. And you can actually hit your opponent again, and they can perform a high-speed dodge. You can kind of go back and forth until the first person runs out of a high-speed dodge, or misses it and gets knocked down from the air.
This is essentially what this is. And it takes about 1/4 of the gauge or 1/3 of the gauge. Now, this is where the game gets broken. You see, you start to notice something when you play this game. You rely heavily on the stamina gauge. Very heavily. Because the older, the goal of a game is to get your opponent down using your skills and tactics and using the character tools to take their health down and to win the duel. But what this actually incentivizes is that you actually focus on the stamina bar and use and do a guard break to do the longest combo as much as possible. Now that doesn't sound like an initial issue, but what this does for this game is altogether, all these features, there's 1 health bar for you as an opponent, right? As you as a player gets 1 health bar. You as a player gets access to 9 different moves for your characters, 12 in total, right? You get 12 access moves, but that gets split into the characters that you switch out with. You have to combine them together. See, the game pushes you to do the longest combo possible to the highest damage combo, which wouldn't be an issue if the game didn't have 1 health bar for the player. You know what I mean? Doing this high damage of stuff makes an anti-competitive environment. What do I mean by that? I have my own definition. There's a legal definition of this. Basically, the game wants you to use the most cheapest bullshit, broken shit. It encourages you to use the cheapest shit imaginable that is not fun to look at or be a part of. Now, usually in fighting games, that doesn't sound that bad, you know what I mean? But this isn't a competitive fighter. This isn't a fighter that respects the characters. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is that it brings every character down to the same fucking character. So, technicality, your character does the same shit as Luffy and Zoro does, like Trunks does the same shit as these characters on a technical scale. He doesn't do anything different. So, what you're really doing is, there's no strategy. Like I said, there's only one strategy. Guard break your opponent, and then use whatever combined your character moves together to create the longest running combo to defeat your opponent. Does that sound competitive? Does that sound like you're using skill to win or strategy to get your opponent's health down? No. The focus of the game completely drives you to only break the stamina bar and use the stamina bar. And then the health is secondary. Look how much damage that did. That's only 1 character. You can easily fix this not wholeheartedly issue. You could easily help the issue by giving each character their own health bar. But no, this is it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you ever played this game online, you would know. You would run to the cheapest bullshit imaginable. The game wants you to do this. Everything takes up stamina. If you lose stamina, you're fucking dead. You can't rely on your skill. There's no comeback mechanic where you can gain stamina back. Once you lose your stamina, which you need all the time to dodge stuff, you run out of dodging moves, you're dead. You're dead. It's redundant. It's crazy. And the individual assassination of a character makes this even worse. And we're just getting started. We're going to start with the most famous examples of this, starting with Goku. Now, if you don't understand me yet, how this game is broken, you're about to right now. We're just getting started with the fuckery. Started with Goku. Now, like I said, there's 4 moves for each character. Now, on a base level, when you pick up Goku, there's not much of an issue here. Not much at all. You can do the Kaioken attack, you can do the classical Kamehameha, and the Raging Strike. You got a counter move, which is strange for Goku to have. Well, not too strange, but, it seems kind of little bit normal to have a counter in this game, don't you think? And then you get to the Spirit Bomb, and it looks like this. And take a look at that damage. Are you out of your fucking mind? Look at that damage. That's the Spirit Bomb. The Super Spirit Bomb. Take a look at J-Stars and how it does it. You know what I mean? Look at that damage that J-Stars Goku has. Look at the flair and the personality of this character. This is just the beginning of the soul versus soulless shit that we're going to be seeing right now. Look at this. Not only does that Spirit Bomb does much more damage, there's much more animation and soul put into his animation. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. Boom. Nothing. It does pussy shit damage. It does pushy damage. That's supposed to be the ultimate attack. The awakened ability that you only get when you awaken. What the hell is going on with this? This is the beginning, man. This is the beginning of this character assassination. Now this is character assassination and individuality assassination right here. Look at that. Now, yeah, you can do the Kamehameha in the air, but then you'll notice something about, you know, Dragon Ball Z characters and Goku. You can't fly. You can't dash in the air. What's going on? This character could fly. Dragon Ball characters, they all suffer from this, and they feel so not special because of it. You feel like you're a shell of Goku in this motherfucker. Look at this, I'm jumping. Why he feels so incredibly heavy when Goku's supposed to be agile? He's supposed to be quick, but hits fast and hard when he needs to. You know, J-Stars pulled this off. You know, remember, the same developer that played this game. Look at this combo string. That combo string is not even here, by the way. You know what I mean? Yes, they could have improved on it, but they didn't here. Kamehameha's better to pull off. It's fast, it's quick, and yes, there's a counter that looks similar to the one in the game as it is now, but J-Stars overall handled this a lot better in every form and fashion. Look at the charge of it. It doesn't look like shit. That's one thing. This art style is fucking garbage when it comes to these characters. Just sparkles and shit everywhere, and it makes you just miss this shit so much. Look at that. They took out moves completely from him. Look, they took out the air moves that does dash moves. You know why they took it out? Because characters are all freaking grounded. There is no air game in this game. And to make things even worse, we have yet to talk about Super Saiyan Blue. But most importantly, a thing called Ultimate Awakening. Now, Shintone, what is an Ultimate Awakening? Is a universal mechanic, universal system-wide mechanic for the game that allows a character to perform an awakening, and then once he hit it again, to perform an ultimate awakening. The problem is, this only works for 3 characters in the fucking game. That's right, only Dragon Ball Z characters use this. Only that. You know, they didn't even have the balls. You know what? They had the balls to put in Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They added Super Saiyan Blue. You know, Super Saiyan 3, if they were so faithful towards manga stuff like they said they were going to be in this game, why didn't they add Super Saiyan 3 as an ultimate technique, or even as an option? Yes, I'm salty, because he's one of my favorite character transformations. But they added Golden Frieza, Super Saiyan Blue. They added in these things. They added an entire system so they can have an excuse to give Goku, Vegeta, and Golden Frieza their states. It's ridiculous. An entire thing. And no, it wouldn't be a problem if other characters had this, but they don't. And trust me, as we talk about these characters, you'll understand how much of a fuck up this really is. Okay, on to our next character, assassination. That was pretty much Goku. He's fucked. And we already know about the Dragon Ball Z thing. Characters are obviously straight up nerfed. But Trunks, it affects Trunks in a different way too. Trunks as a character in a fighting game is supposed to be the cool guy with the sword. You know what I mean? Even without the sword, he's pretty cool. But he's most notable with it. It's one of his key traits as a Dragon Ball Z character and how he uses the sword in battle to stand out from other Dragon Ball Z fighters and characters. Along with the irregularly nerfed bullshit Dragon Ball Z characters get, Trunks gets a whole new type of fucking nerf in this game. Now, at first glance, you may think, Shintone, there's nothing wrong with Trunks. He has a sword. He plays like he would. No. You don't understand. Spike Chunsoft handled Trunks the correct way in a game called Zenkai Battle. You see, this is how he should have been handled in this game, but they didn't handle him like this. They gave him an entire sword game. He should have 2 freaking movesets, one with a sword and one without a sword. And you wouldn't even know about this, you know, that they pulled this off before. They did it before. Why didn't they do it for this game? This could have been the strategy. That's one of the reasons why I was excited for Trunks being in this game, because of what Spike Chunsoft did with him before and how they perfectly handled his character. You know, this could be used in strategy easily, and easily gives the character individuality. He has longer range. He wants to attack. He pulls out his sword to do certain moves. The way they handled Heap Dome attack is perfect in this game. You know, but there's nothing to lift the opponent up besides a combo string, and that's it, which every character could fucking do, by the way. It's ridiculous. This character's assassinated. He already has, you know, He's a Dragon Ball character. Let's be real. Dragon Ball characters already have a tough time trying to do different things from each other. And the way they handled Trunks is just they gave him a sword as part of his attack combo string, when they could have easily made him take it off and on and actually make it break. So, for example, you know how the stamina breaks? Trunks can use his sword as a guard, and instead of breaking his stamina, it will break the sword instead. That's the reason why you want to pick Sword. That's the reason why you want to pick Trunks. But no, that's not even an option. If you thought Goku and Trunks was bad, we're still getting started with this. We haven't yet to talk about the worst cases in this game, and one of them being Monkey D. Luffy. Now, I want you to look at this gameplay. Did you notice anything particularly odd about this? Did you notice anything wrong about how Luffy fights? Did you notice any specific Luffy trait or characteristic that he has that makes him stand out immediately that's not being used right now? Any guesses? Any. I'll take anything. Yes. His entire fucking combo strings has been nerfed to shit. Look at this animation. Beautiful from J-Star. It makes him stand out immediately. It gives him a nice... it represents his character so well. He wants to get close to you. He wants to hit you. He has range to do so. He wants to get close to you. He will. He has this nice long slapping effect. Take a look at Gungam no Gatling gun, or Hot Gatling in this case. He has to run up to you. If he misses that run up, that's really short, he misses completely. Are you fucking serious? Are you serious? Look how he handles Hot Gatling in this game. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. That's Jet Bazooka. Boom. Look at how powerful that is. Boom. Slaps you around. Try to get close to him. He has range. He has mid-range on your ass. Boom. Boom. Look at that punch. You know what I mean? Now look at that same punch right now and how it's handled in this game. In its upgraded form. Because this wasn't... Red Hawk wasn't available at the time of J-Stars. That wasn't in the manga yet. But still, look. Look at this. Look at this Red Hawk. Look at that animation right now. Look at this animation. Look at that. It doesn't even disappear properly. It's so freaking trash. Holy crap. It looks so bad. You know. Oh, this isn't even the worst of this. This isn't even the worst of this, man. Oh my goodness. Take a look at this. Take a look at how they massacred my freaking boy. Look at this. Look how he goes to green form. Like, Gear 2. Gear 2. Dude, he gets serious. All his attributes change. All his moves change. His shit is much more aggressive. Look at that. They don't even give him an option to do this. Gatling gun shit. Not even an option. Look at that big jet bazooka. Launches the opponent super far. Really hard. Look at this. Elephant gun. Now look at how it's done now.
You serious?
And my word, this character is just so fucked, and we can't even help him. We can't even help him with his ultimate awakening technique. His ultimate move. Look at this. This is where he goes to, spoiler alert, another gear, Gear 4, and then it doesn't seem bad at all until you realize he can't transform to that. There's no awakening to that form. He goes awakening in Gear 2, but there's no awakening in Gear 4. There's no ultimate awakening. That's only reserved for Dragon Ball Z characters only. Look at how he handles this. Look at the animation in a game called Burning Blood, which is also comparable because it's made by Spike Chunsoft. They infinitely handled his character a lot better here. Now, I'm not exactly sure about what I'm about to say, but I think that the move that you see that Luffy does in that game was not there yet in the manga or anime because they were still in the middle of the Doflamingo arc and in the story. So I think this is a this is pretty much a on the fly move for them. But regardless, the example is it looks way better than this shit. Look at this. It looks grotesque, disgusting, and look at that. Look how he pops out of that form. It's so uncanny. They were worried about characters looking at Uncanny Valley. Are you serious? Look how stupid this shit looks. We gotta talk about something here. Now, it's amazing that I talk about character assassinations and how they got nerfed, right? I talk about how Goku got nerfed, and he looks like shit. Everybody got brought down to the same level, and it's fucking terrible. It's fucking terrible. But there's certain characters that actually get the reverse treatment here, like Zoro, for example. Let's be real, his Burning Blood moveset wasn't particularly the best. He wasn't particularly the most interesting character to use, let's be real. But in this game, he stands out among everybody. He's already grounded character as it is. You know what I mean? And he's still nerfed to a certain extent. But listen, they even got his freaking Shura transformation. They got that correctly, and they couldn't get Gear 2? Are you fucking kidding me? Now he gets one new move, 3,000 worlds, but it doesn't fucking matter. Look at this shit. It looks terrible. It looks terrible. But like I was saying, it makes characters, the individuality assassination looks the more grounded characters that should be grounded stand out a bit more and work a bit better in this area, and that works for Zoro completely for him. Let me look at this animation. What the fuck is this, man? Are you serious? But even if this sad state of other characters help Zoro out, he still has some shit upcomings too. I mean, there's certain moves they did take away from. I'm acting like there's sequel, right? I'm acting like Burning Blood's like a sequel. In a sense, if it's the same developer and the moves are almost copy and freaking paste, you're gonna look at the successor, you know what I mean? Especially if it's the same developer. I mean, look at his ultimate move and how he handles it in this game. It's completely hype. He even does an extra hit, you know what I mean? Even the art style looks way better than this game. If they would have just copied and pasted the art style, I don't think anybody would be complaining as much as well. Look at how he does his Shura moves in this game. He does his Purgatory Onigiri. His 1,000-pound Phoenix does not look like shit. They actually, in the Jump Force, they have his 1,800-pound Phoenix move actually have a physical look to it, and it looks so garbage. They do that so they can actually make it visible, but that's not the whole point in the fucking move, man. Oh my goodness. But there's one character we have to talk about here. It was pretty obvious we were going to go in this direction, but we have to talk about Sanji. Now, Sanji is also a grounded character like Zoro, and of course with fire, he has fire, and fire in this game is actually really strong, very, very strong, and Sanji has that, making him a strong damage-racking character. Really, look at that, look at this combo right here. But there's one problem about Sanji, and it's a character trait I know they couldn't ignore to put him in the game, but he's pretty much ineffective against female characters. That's fine. He has heart, he has an entire moveset. You know, that also proves that characters have different movesets in the game, because Sanji has 2 of them. There's one problem though. One specific problem about Sanji is that at least in Burning Blood, he did damage to the characters. 1%, one hit of damage. Take a look. It's doing something to the characters. It means that you can still fight the characters to some capacity. They could have improved on this in Jump Force. They could have made it like 5%, made him viable even with the hearts. But no, he does 0% damage. And all of his moves, he doesn't have his specific special moves. They're all freaking canceled. He is completely vulnerable to female characters. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Now, arguably so. The most butchered of the big 3. You may notice that all the big 3, the main stars of this game, are butchered. But maybe even more than Luffy, arguably. Maybe even more than Goku. Naruto has to be the worst case of this, and I'm going to explain why. Take a look. Take a look at his Rasengan, the most prestigious move that he has. First of all, it looks like fucking garbage. You know, the thing about Naruto and his Rasengan move, it's supposed to look majestic and beautiful. You know what I mean? Even if you're not the biggest Naruto fan, I don't claim to be one, but I know that, you know, Naruto's moves are supposed to look beautiful, man. They're supposed to have this feel of energy that comes into Rasengan that has been done to perfection, or at least to a really, really good, reasonable state in J-Stars. His moveset in this game is a great representation, but even then, when I played J-Stars, I thought they could have done better with Naruto's moveset. You know, that's why we were all excited for a sequel to see this done better. But no, take a look. No, the one important trait about
we understand that traits about the characters are being completely wiped to fit into the grounded area in this game. And you don't expect that for a character like Naruto, but no. No. They fuck my boy just like they did the rest. They give him absolutely no clone movement at all. And every other move that he has in base form is just him going quickly into Tail Beast mode or Six Paths mode to perform these moves. Are you fucking serious? Are you kidding me? They can't even make Naruto move like fucking Naruto. It's embarrassing. You want to play Naruto? You play fucking Boruto. Because he has a way better moveset than him. And that could lead to a theory that they made Naruto look like shit on purpose so they can have Boruto be a little better so that people can play Boruto more. That could be a thing. But there's so many bullshit things happening against this game. I believe any fucking theory like that, to be honest. And look at that. They even changed his entire moveset combo right here. Not the entire thing, but they changed his moveset string for Naruto in his Six Paths mode. And it really tells you that, one, developers want you to play Naruto in that mode all the time. And they expect you to. So that's why they didn't bother adding anything else. No, that's not the reason at all. They're just fucking lazy. Our next character, Assassination, and individually Assassination, becomes is one of my favorite characters, Kenshiro. And what they did to him in this game, you may think, well, they didn't do bad because Kenshiro didn't have a lot of options compared to other characters. You be wrong. You be wrong. I think that Kenshiro's case is potentially just as bad as the others, if not worse. You see, look at his J-Stars moveset. I'll be honest with you, when I looked at his J-Stars moveset, I thought this character is very fucking fun. But they did not do his moves to the best of their ability. I think that you could have done a lot more Kenshiro inside his moves, but they took away even that. And now, he's just a fucking KAC. He's a costume in this game. That's all he is. He's a shadow of his even J-Star stuff, which I thought they could have done better with. But no, look at this. You know, he could do this move in the game, but it looks like shit. He could do the one move that they took away from him. It's the 100 crack fists in this game. And that's one of his most powerful support moves in that game. He pulls the opponent in. That's the kind of game style Kenshiro should represent. He's the type of character that he wants to get close to you, he'll run up to you and he'll attack you. You know, even if you're blocking him, he'll still attack you. He's just that type of fighter and a character. But no, they even take away his nunchucks, and he just ends up to be a walking shell of himself. Even more so. It's embarrassing. But perhaps the worst case of the nerf from J-Stars to Jump Force is my boy Yusuke Urameshi. He got fucked. Oh my goodness. You know, Yusuke Urameshi is a pretty solid character in this game. And that's saying, you know, that's for what it is in this game. But boy, oh boy, does his effects look like shit. Look at that. Does that look anywhere near as good as it did before in J-Stars? Let me tell you, Yu Yu Hakusho characters are naturally good fighting game characters. They're naturally good. Yusuke is a naturally good brawler character where you can use, has a projectile, has a move that you can extend it with and do combos with, like just shotgun. This is not even in the game. One of my favorite moves in that game is the shotgun. The spirit shotgun. You know, how would they handle spirit gun in this game? You can't even walk, you can't even dodge with it that long without doing the move. And the move itself it's this big ball of fucking nothing. Like throwing a ball of fucking yarn at your characters. And take a look at this. You kidding me? That's the closest thing you get to doing this spirit shotgun. Are you fucking serious? This spirit way move is so fucking useless, man. You could do it barely in a combo, but other than that, you just don't use it. You just don't use this fucking move. Just don't do it. You're just gonna use your spirit gun and organ mortarer in a combo string, and that's it. That's it, dude. And that's just a cinematic, just like everybody else can do. It's not some kind of armor move. I mean, it could perform like one, but it's not used to the fullest extent. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. My boy got assassinated.
so bad. And that move, look at that move. That was a move he did in J-Stars that you can do in the air to get opponents down. That's air game stuff right there. That could have improved on this game, but no. Look at how he handles Spirit Gun in this game. You know what I mean? That's how it's supposed to be handled. Or no, that's how it should be handled in a different option for Yusuke. And I have Ryzen in J-Stars too. And if you didn't know, Ryzen had a white hair, and you notice that in this game his Mosoko form or Ryzen form has black hair. That's how it's supposed to be from the manga. You know, to show you that the developers had a manga. You know, they were going for that manga feel, but not entirely so. His Spirit Gun in this game is a charge-up move, which completely takes away the individuality of it, and it's just the only way you can form the Mega Spirit Gun is do that. And do I need to explain any further how fucked up this is? They fucked him, man. Now, there was no way I wasn't going to talk about Togoro's Assassination 2. By far, one of the most assassinated characters in the game. Not only in story mode, as we just previously established, how they use him as a fucking fodder villain, but in his moveset as well. And they couldn't even do that right. They couldn't even slaughter my boy correctly. You know, Togoro is a boss character like Frieza. He's a boss character like Cell, like Aizen. He's that level. You know, he's not to be fucked with. He's on that level of hierarchy of villains. You know what I mean? He is the boss character of Yu Yu Hakusho, and they treat him like a complete fucking joke in this game, and they couldn't even do that right, because his character is naturally powerful as shit. Look at what he does in this game. You know, in J-Stars, this game, he can go to 100% and actually use that as a transformation. He does not get a single transformation in this game, except for when you do his 100% move, and that's what it's freaking called, by the way, where he temporarily goes to 100% of 100%, 120%, or whatever you want to call it, and then he just backs out of it. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious? It does a lot of damage, like it should do. Togoro is the type of character to do a lot of damage. His whole point of his character is that he's a boss character. He touches you, you're going to be close to fucking dead after he's done throwing you around. That's the whole point of his character. He's a boss character. That's how he should be treated. And we don't even get to see this form playable. His 120%, his 100% of 100%. We don't even get to see this shit. No, we don't even get to see 100% as a awakening. And this is an ultimate awakening. You know what I mean? That's only reserved for Dragon Ball Z characters only. Like, it's salty. It gets me salty. You know what I mean? It looks grotesque in this game, really does, but it works to its advantage. It's already grotesque in the anime and the manga. But this is one of those things where the art style actually works for the grotesqueness of the character, like for Togoro. And that's one of the only cases. It looks really uncanny, but it works for it though. But that's it. You know what I mean? They freaked my boy Togoro. And there's one more character I gotta talk about. The assassination of Rurouni Kenshin. Now, some of you may be confused about his assassination. Shintone, what's wrong? He actually moves like Kenshin. What's actually wrong with him? Well, you see, Kenshin is a character not exactly like Togoro, we previously stated, is about power. He's about speed and precise movement and attacks. His J-Stars moveset is one of my favorite freaking movesets in the game. And you see this move? One of my favorite moves in that game. I had to play it multiple times so you can see this. Multiple times. It's that fast. His Flash Dragon attack that lifts you up is crazy fast, and it looks good in this game, right? That's how it's supposed to work. But in this game, guess what that move does? Take a look. Take a look at this move.
Look how they massacred my boy.
They really done a good job taking away one of the most interesting moves that he had in J-Stars. You know what I mean? He's the type of character, they handled him so freaking well in that game.
even on a playing field as such as this, such as an open world game. You know, I know they added Dragon Cry Flash, the movie used against NC, but still, you know, that move is shit. You know what I mean? What it does, it gives you a debuff. Who gives a fuck about that? No one gives a shit about debuffs in this game. Nobody. When you're in a game, you care about damage. You're breaking this fucking stamina bar, and it just, you know what the Flash Dragon move does? It breaks the freaking stamina bar. You know, it's pretty broken. He's pretty good in this game for that, but he moves so slow compared to what he could do. He's supposed to be much more dangerous. He's one of the grounded characters in the game that should have been amplified. You know, and he is amplified because he's a naturally grounded character. But they still assassinate him in his speed. Because if he was actually as fast as he should have been, he'd be top tier in his fucking game. I'm telling you that right now. And that brings an end to the character assassinations of this game. But I'm not done talking about this game just yet. I have to give you my final thoughts. And more. Yeah, that's right. Over 50 playable characters are butchered in this game and assassinated, including 9 characters. Well, not to the extent of the original characters that are in this game. You see, these characters are guilty by association. You know how that works. And what about the positive aspects, Shintone? What about what's positive about the game? Let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about the positive parts. What can you get from it? Besides nothing. Well, there's one thing you could say. That the stages, they're top notch. The backgrounds, they look pretty damn good. And even though it has a realistic jump world thing going on, crossover, it still looks really good. Without the stages, the game would fall apart more than it already has. I do have a couple favorites. Of course, the Konoha stage, like I just showed you. And the one stage that stands out to me, because I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, is San Francisco. This place is filled to the brim with Yu-Gi-Oh Easter eggs. Well, 2 of them anyway. With the dual tower. The dual tower in the back. I mean, that's amazing. When I first saw that, and even now, you know, you would hope there would be a secret transition to go over there, but no, there's none of that in here. There's no secret transitions. No one has found any, and let's be real, we would have found it in the codes if we couldn't have found it in the game. There's also Naruto shit on here too, which does take away from a couple of stages that you get a little later. And actually, what's the point of having that stage when you have the Final Valley stuff here? You know, you kind of ask that question. Yes, but the stage transitions in general are amazing as well. I think they're 100% necessary, and people seem to really forget that this stage has. This game has multiple stages in the stage. But the sad part is, the game doesn't let you choose which part of it you could play in first. And it still, to this day, doesn't allow you to do it. It's ridiculous. Look at that Kaiba blimp. Amazing. But, like all things in this game that's butchered, there are butchered stages as well. But how can you butcher a stage that's kind of crossing over with each other? Well, yes, it's kind of a creative thing, but what about the stages that already belong to the Dragon Ball, Naruto, or One Piece world? Specifically, the World Tournament stage. You know what people like about the World Tournament stage? The white tiles on the fucking floor. We just love running around in it. We love it. We love playing with half of the huge World Tournament stage inside a Coliseum with no fucking audience. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Seriously, the whole point of the World Tournament stage, the whole point of why people like it as a Dragon Ball Z stage is because you have an audience. You have this big open space, and you have an audience to watch you fight. How cool would that be? To have a World Tournament stage properly done, and have people from the Dragon Ball world, which is supposedly supposed to be from, watch you fight from the Dragon Ball world. That's cool. That's legit.
But no, let's take away the shit that people like about it. Take away the attributes that make it what it is, and it turns into Cell Arena 2.0 with fucking Rome Coliseum. Are you fucking serious? Oh my goodness. At least, there's better stages than there are terrible ones. And this one right here is an original stage. I like it. Mostly because of the manga stuff in the background. Once you do the interaction, the transition, of course, you get these beautiful manga scenes from the Naruto, Bleach, and Dragon Ball Z worlds. Oops. Oh, did I say Bleach? Yeah, it's just just Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and One Piece. My bad. Let's talk about how shitty these intros are. Seriously. Character assassination, individuality assassination, check. Oh, wait a minute, before you even get to the damn match. Seriously, they could have even put this as a feature in the game to unlock these intros, different types of intros. Like, it really, looking at this, I want you to compare this. The intros are so fucking terrible. There's absolutely zero fan service. It's robotic. It's corporate. I want you to compare Madara and Kenshiro's Jump Force to their J-Stars interactions and tell me which one feels better.
見届けるがいい。この俺の戦いを。さてと、始めるか。お前はもう死んでいる？言いたいことはそれだけか。
Dude, you know how cool that dialogue is between Kenshiro and Madara is? That's freaking cool as shit. It doesn't even return in Jump Force. Soulless. It's so fucking terrible. Oh my goodness. And this leads me to where I was talking about a little earlier in the part 3 about how I don't like the emo system, and I'll talk about later. Later is now. And this is the reason why. Because emotes in this game remind me of the time they could have spent putting all this animation for every character into a taunt. The D-pad on the controller is completely empty. There is no use for it. Look at all these taunts. I mean, how many times do I have to compare this shit to J-Stars, right? But the point of showing you this is to show you that the developer can do it. The developer has done it. But why didn't they improve upon this? They're giving you KAC parts and avatar parts for event rewards, where you can be giving characters taunts from other series and from series in the game inside these damn events. You know what? Instead of talking about what they could do, let's talk about what they can do and could do for the future. Alright? So, hear me out. Are you ready? Now, this is the regular control scheme. Of course, this is for Xbox, and I'll be switching over to PlayStation in a second. So, take this in, because I'm going to be simulating what they need to improve on in Jump Force 2 in a basic level. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go too deep into this. It's not the whole rest of the video. So here's the thing. We got use the D-pad. First of all, use the fucking D-pad. There's things that return, like the switching, the hold to switch to your opponent. Your second one, your support attacks, the arch, the sidestep, the energy charge, and the abilities in the guard, right? But there's a few things that change, right? There's an extra ability because I move. Now you have 4 abilities, with the final ability being a guaranteed 3-bar. We got the Ultimate Awakening being R3 tap. Of course, we got the R2 and R3 being the Ultimate Awakening technique. Is being moved to there. There's a guard bar and a meter bar. So right before you get attacked, the high-speed counter in this game uses the guard bar, and the high-speed dodge uses the meter. You know, once you think about this, it starts to make sense a little bit. And of course, we get the heavy smash, and now heavy smashes has up and down, like the regular rushes. And of course, we got a throw. When you hold up throw, though, you get the ability to perform a parry, which, of course, is a good thing. This adds technique to it. Now, if you go back and pause a little bit, I'm going to explain this a little further. Here's a jump button, which you can perform to jump twice and dash in the air or glide. It depends on the character, bringing back character individuality. And if you looked at that D-pad, I've added the ability to access a taunt wheel. And on the right button on the D-pad is to access a third support, and the bottom for a potential support only role and or access the fourth character on your team. Now I added more individuality options, like a character trait button on the up on a D-pad, and I replaced the dash with special movement. So for instance, for Goku, his character trait could be going Kaioken, the stat boost, and his special movement could be instant transmission. However, special movement could take up guard meter, and regular meter at the same time. So stuff like that, when you think about that. And the parry can be counter parried if you guess correctly as the character you're getting parried. So think about stuff like that. Easily, I just fixed fucking Jump Force's gameplay. And if you really imagine it, really consider it, really test it out on a controller, you start to see what I mean. But that's not the only thing. Let's fix the upgrade counter. Now these are not as deep and crazy, but this is just to get the idea out. Each upgrade counter will be specific to the characters on the team in the to the characters in the team. It's that simple. There's presets. Access to gamma areas give you a whole room for your KAC to explore, to have collectibles in and pieces of concept art and all that shit. And even in the event counter, have the ability to, guess what? Like I've already said this before, but you get the ability to get win posts for your new characters, even for your KAC. So the focus here is the character, improving the character, because the characters got assassinated in this game. They don't mean shit compared to KAC, and that's not right. That's not right at all. Take a look. Go into the menu right here. Take away elemental resistances. Take away all that fake depth bullshit. You know what I mean? They don't fucking matter. They're not going to matter. And replace that with the options to change your attires, which can also be event rewards in this game, which are really good event rewards. Come on now. Change your attire, like you see the examples right here. Change your support. See, that's the one thing you should be able to do in this game, but you don't. Change your support move. That's something that should be done. Awakening techniques. Have you to change your ultimate awakenings and awakenings for every character, so it's not Dragon Ball Z only. You know what I mean? Just come on now. Like I can go on for whole videos. I have done that before. And when it comes to characters, we gotta talk about that too. Bandai, Spike Chunsoft, if you're listening, these are the characters to add. Gintama, Kinnikuman, Cobra, Toriko, Chainsaw Man, he deserves it. Bobobo, Cat's Eye, Demon Slayer, the Gray Man. I'm not sure if I said Madoka Box, but Madoka Box. 11 new series, 16 new characters. That's it. That's all you need. Bring back every character for part 2 and improve on them and upgrade them with these 16 characters. You'll make everybody's fucking day. This is a balance too. This is not particularly a buy list at all, because I don't like fucking Hitman Reborn, but it's on this list for people who do. So there you go. It's balanced. It's nice. There's 60 characters. Even though they're just 16, there's at least 11 new series that can be expanded upon in DLC. And there's one more thing we have to talk about. The art style. Drop the real world stuff. Drop it. Just make it anime. This is from a Twitter called Lean. His name is Lean. I'm going to leave the link, whatever. You could go. This came from him. And this is a project he's doing. And it shows me that there's people who care about this game and how it looks. And though it's not completely finished, it shows you how this game should have fucking looked. Cell shaded. This is amazing. Look at Grimjaw here. Look at this. This is what Jump Force 2 should aspire to be. This is what it should be. And as for story, drop that real world shit, and you can have something pretty good on your hands. And what to take an example from? Take an example from Pokemon. What? What do you mean Pokemon? Imagine this. You create your KAC. You can make him fat, tall, whatever, skinny, short. You make him like Popo from JoJo. You can make him like a Mickey, and who gives a fuck? But then
what they do is have a rival system. So they randomly generate a KAC for you with a name, so every character, every person in the game can have a unique experience with their rival. The story will be kind of the same, but everybody will have their own rival KAC character. And you two pretty much become friends and fight each other as you explore jump worlds. You guys will be the real world characters going through the jump worlds and exploring them, kind of like Kingdom Hearts style in a sense, and help them and assist with their problems, and ultimately building them together and have them meet up as well from certain points. That's how you make a proper get together. Now to make a plot out of that, that's pretty good structure. You know, your friend and your KAC random friend goes to whatever. You know, there's just a lot of stuff you could build off that. It's better than whatever fuck Jump Force has. This could be Jump Force 2. It could make a comeback in the sequel, but definitely not in the game. And there's a couple of reasons for that, and it has something to do with the community. Well, Koji never lied. And even after this game's release and 2 years after it's been announced, he still hasn't lied. And continues not to lie. But the community, they've been lying ever since the game came out. Constantly deceiving its members into believing this game was going to be what Koji always told you with a smile on his face that it wasn't. You see, Koji has been very honest. And when he definitely is honest when he says that this game support will continue as long as the community supports it. They will continue their support just as the community. And you say that's a good thing, and I say now for Jump Force, no, it ain't a good thing. This community went through quite the transformation from the beginning. And it is truly sad that the announcement was the highlight of it all. And I know I'm not the only one to agree with that. It's a shame how many people were so happy. They wanted so many characters to be in this game. It was nothing but short of full of possibility. But the community wanted characters that simply just weren't as popular as others. And the speculations and the expectations just continue to arose. It's a damn shame. Some people knew this from the very start. Some people saw the red flags and ignored them. Some people are smart enough not to even touch this fucking game today. It's a good thing that most people don't like this game and call it for what it is. Garbage. And truly a fantastic thing that they would like to let it go and make something worthwhile. But some people are not letting it go at all and continue what began in the hype train arc, something called community deceit. And the people to blame from this is the people who play Jump Force right now. Even after all its reception, people continue to play this game. And not only agree with the people who claims it's the worst thing they ever played, but continue to play it. What type of environment does that really create? You see, it's a very important connection between Bandai, Spike Chunsoft, and you. You as a fan. You as a consumer. As a customer. To establish a relationship. To tell Bandai you don't like their shit and they need to fix it. And also tell Spike Chunsoft they better get their act together. But sometimes it does happen. And sometimes it really turns out not the way you wanted to, nor expected to. Mr. Inferno here. From the very beginning, well, you should know what this guy is. He's famous for his, what's the nicest way to say this? Exploits. Holy shit. Of clickbaiting motherfuckers into clicking on his damn video. And played a key part in a community deceit, even to this day. But he started something that gave him the nickname called the Remax option from me. So what's Remax? Remax option. Huh? What is that? You see, in the early days of Jump Force, a lot of these YouTubers didn't complain about the right things. They started to only complain about the rematch button, the rematch this, the rematch that. Some of these YouTubers, why the fuck were they even talking about it? They just shut the fuck up. But no, they kept talking about it. And then, boom! Not too long ago, in the months after the game's release, Bandai responded with a tweet saying that players will soon be able to rematch. And not only that, they gave a fucking trailer to this. And you think I'm making fun of Bandai here. No. You get me wrong. I'm making fun of this dumb motherfucking community. Holy shit. Are you serious? Months and months and months of talking about something so fucking useless. What do you think is gonna happen? See, this is the type of shit that makes this game what it is. Talking about shit that doesn't fucking matter. And then, guess what? When these people get what they want, guess what? Does it work? And I know what you're saying. Why? Okay, this is a movement from him. Why didn't you Pride try to do your own fucking movement? Well, this movement was such a fucking joke that when I tried to do my fucking movement, it didn't exactly pick off. I tried to talk about things about this game, try to improve them, but it didn't exactly fly. And guess what that rematch button did? What do you think it fucking did? This is the fucking problem with the Jump Force community and its leaders. They talk about the dumbest fucking shit. They talk about the toxicity and the spammers. Don't spam me. Don't spam me. Oh no. Fucking stop playing the motherfucking game. These are coming from the same people. The same people that said the game was trash. The same people who knew this game was cheap as fuck when it came to certain things. Don't R3 me, bro. What's up with this guard break cheese? Stop spamming. Stop spamming. Stop spamming. Are you fucking kidding me? They won't let go. They won't let go that this game is fucking garbage. And they continue to make content on this shit. They continue to talk about the characters they know when they come out. It's going to be some cheap ass bullshit. They're going to be overpowered as fuck. They're going to be cheap as shit. What the fuck? This community is full of the dumbest motherfuckers in any other community. They keep talking about the same shit and expect change. This is the literal definition of fucking insanity. Guard break cheese spam. Well, I don't know. Why are you complaining about it on the video? You know. Why are you still fucking playing this? You know this game is fucking trash. And this is why the game continues to get support. You keep uploading that toxic bull. Let the game fucking die. It's garbage. It's not gonna get any better. They're gonna leave it. Once you stop supporting it, the sooner you stop supporting it, the sooner they can work on a fucking sequel to make things better. This is what led Jump Force to having so many missed opportunities. The relationship of a terrible game and a terrible community that just won't shut the fuck up about it leads to Jump Force being the apex of missed potential. And that is the very first episode of Showdown. That is my Revengeance. It was quite an interesting video. It took a while to make. And I want to say, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you. Love you. Thank you for your continued support on the channel if you're subscribed now. I know it hasn't been a while since I uploaded. And I would love to say that this will be the last Jump Force video I ever made. And it really is. But I'm gonna wait until this game actually really fucking dies and continue this on the part 2 and the aftermath. So I introduced this thing called Showdown Aftermath, and basically what this is if I have reviewed a game on the show, because we're gonna review a lot more. We got a lot more anime games coming up, and we're just getting started with this shit. So we're starting off with the bang with Jump Force. So what I do is when I review a game and DLC isn't done yet, With the DLC and the game's completely done and it's completely dead, then we do the aftermath to see what happens after that. To recall the events of the review, see if I change my mind on some things, or then see what happened with the game at that point. So yeah, if you watch this, man, thank you so much. I appreciate your damn time. My name is Shintone, and until the next shitty game, I'll be seeing ya. Peace.
Continue.